Right, this is my lathe as it stands at the moment. It's a Myford Super 7. I bought it about a year ago and completely refurbished it, put new bushes and bearings and everything in. To change speed on the Myford, you have to, it's done on the belts. You have to release the belts, move the belt over, which is quite easy, and that changes your speeds. If you want a really slow speed, you engage what's called the back gear, which is a little gear down there which changes the ratio. That's as slow as you can go. So that's how you change the speeds currently on the Myford. It's all belt driven. It also has a clutch which you engage and disengage here. So that's your clutch mechanism, which is a nice feature. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to change my single phase motor for a 3-phase motor. Now the motor is in the back. This is the drive pulley from the motor, which comes up to two gears here. You've got two different speeds here if you need it. I always run it on that one. I never change it. And then your clutch mechanism is this piece here. So that's your clutch mechanism. The motor is under here. That's where the motor is. That's what we're going to be changing today. And also round the other side, this is where the motor is in this side. So let's take this cover off. It's just a bit of protection I put on to stop any crap getting in the motor. You can see the motor fully in the back there now, which is this is the motor. Goes on a bracket here. It's a little bit awkward to get to. I'm just going to have a bit of a clean out in there, and then I'll start changing the motor. The motor connects to this forward and reverse switch which I put on, so I can forward and reverse the motor if I want, but I think this new motor I'm going to put on with a control unit is going to make a massive amount of difference. Basically what I'm doing is putting a 3-phase motor on, single phase. So it's a single phase motor that's on there at the moment. The one I'm going to be changing it for is a 3-phase motor run from an inverter, which has a start, stop, forward and reverse, speed control on it. Now even though that's got speed control on it, I can still change the belts for different speeds, so that gives me a bit more flexibility if I need. I can still use the back gear. It doesn't affect anything on the lathe. I'll also keep this old motor in case I ever want to put it back on. But anyway, let's go over and have a look at the motor we're going to put on, and then we'll come back and I'll get this stripped down and we'll fit the new motor. Right, this is the new motor. It's an AV750. It's specially made, the bracket is especially for the Myford Super 7, and also it fits the Boxford and the Raglan Mark V. It's from a company called Newton Tesla. So anyway, let's open the box and see what we got in there. That for now. Right, see if we can get the stuff out without making too much mess. Right, one box. That must be the control unit, because this is a lot heavier, so I'm guessing this is going to be the motor. Yeah, by the weight of that, that's the motor. Okay, I can't see anything else in there apart from packing. That's just packing in there. Right, get rid of that. So that's the motor. Appears to be from a company called Cleveland Electrical in the UK. It's a 3-phase synchronous motor, asynchronous motor. Yep. Right. So this is the control box. Let's get that out and show you that first. Right, that's the controller. I haven't seen the lead to the motor yet, so I'm assuming that's going to be in with the motor. There's the control unit. It's emergency stop, start, stop, obviously forward, reverse. And then there's your power and your jog. So yeah, that's not quite sure where I'm going to mount that yet, but we'll get to that later. So that's the AV750 high performance speed controller for the motor. The input supply is 200 to 240 volts AC at 50 to 60 hertz, so it can work in most countries. The output supply is 200 volts AC 3-phase, so there'll be 3 phases coming out of it. Right, so let's have a look at the motor. So it's all packed pretty good. These motors are very heavy. It all comes well packed anyway. There's the plug. That plugs straight in there. That plugs into the mains electric. There's no wiring to do whatsoever. So there's the motor. It does give the connections for future reference if you need it. So what I'm going to do now is you're meant to be able to fit this in half an hour, which I'm sure you can, but that doesn't include stripping the old motor down. So what I'm going to do is take the old motor off first and then come back to that. Now, to make life easier, I think it's going to be better to remove the bottom pulley and try and move this cover out of the way so I can get to the motor. I do have the cover for that, by the way. I've taken it off, so it's out of the way, just to save you saying you need a cover on there. Right, see if we can get in there and get this pulley off. Right, I'll come back when I get that off. I've taken the whole cover off just to make it easier. If I had access to the back of the lathe, that wouldn't be necessary. I could get to the bolts, but I just feel it's going to make my life easier if I take that off. I can get to the bolts and everything will go back a lot nicer and make life a lot easier in the long run. That's the old motor out. Alright, let's just see which holes we've got to use. It appears to be the two front ones, which appear to line up quite nicely. Okay, get that out of the way. Right, let's get it into position, which is like that. Alright, just want to find something to support that now. Right, what I want to do now is line the pulley up with the top motor. Right, what I was doing there is lining the pulley up to make sure it's running true with the top pulley, running parallel. I've decided to mount the box on here, only temporary I think, because I think it's just going to get covered in muck from the lathe, so I might actually mount it round this side eventually, but I'm just going to set it up and try it so I can finish the final adjustments. This plug just goes straight in the bottom, that just clips in there. This then plugs into the mains. Now it should work. Let's give it a try. So engage the motor, engage the clutch. That's very impressive. That's much quieter than my old motor. Yes, I like that a lot. Now if I want to just slow it down just to do something, like parting off or something, it's a piece of cake. I don't know what the torque will be like, but I'll find out when I start turning. So if we stop that now, put it in reverse, yeah, lovely. Quite sure what the jog is for, but anyway, that's excellent. That is, I've got a lot more control over the lathe now. Ah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Right, something's gone wrong. I don't see a reset button, so maybe it's blown a fuse in the plug. Okay, let's have a look. The fuse is okay, so why isn't it working? Plug it back in. Emergency stop, release the emergency stop, stop. Oh. Seems like it doesn't like the clutch engaging. Now it's seems to be locked out for a minute or two for some reason. How it'll tolerate it at high speed. No, it's not having any of that, is it? Doesn't like the clutch. Okay, well that's interesting. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to use the clutch now. I don't suppose that matters because I got the same level of control over this as what I used to have, but whenever I engage the clutch, for some reason the motor cuts out. That's much better, that's a lot quieter, but it just won't accept the clutch being engaged. I'm going to send them an email and I'll let you know. It stops a lot quicker as well, which is a good thing. So anyway, to sum up, I'm relatively happy with it. It's made the lathe a little bit easier to use. I'm going to change the position of the box to around the side because I don't like it in the front there. Well, that's the plan at the moment. I'll see anyway. But overall, I'm quite happy with it. It does a lovely job. My only reservation is now that I can't use the clutch on the machine. Whether that'll be an issue or not, I don't know. I don't think it probably will, because I can switch it on and off just as easy. If I'm doing something, then all I've got to do is just stop it instead of disengaging the clutch, which is a lot easier now than it was before. So overall, I'm okay. I'm going to send them an email about the engaging the clutch and the motor cutting out. Just to sum up, I did say I'd get back to you about the response from Newton Tesla as to regards why I can't engage the clutch without the motor cutting out. It's been a week now since I sent them an email and I still haven't had a response from them, which is a little disappointing because, you know, they got the product out really quick, but unfortunately the aftercare seems to be a little bit lacking. But it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I mean, I've been using the lathe for about a week now and it's completely transformed the way I do things, which is brilliant. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. I would also appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button, because that will enable me to grow the channel so that I can keep making these videos. Please leave a comment or a question. I do read all of the comments and reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching.